Hello and welcome to part 11, the finale of Let's Play Spider-Man Web of Shadows on the Nintendo DS. In the last part we fought our way through the hive, we kicked some ass, we died a couple of times admittedly, but yeah, now we are finally ready to go through the big scary door. To reveal, it looks like we're in a church here or something like that, to reveal the big boss man! This is it, this is the final boss, the Symbiote leader. So yes, I've already said, I thought Venom personally is a harder boss than this boss. But as you can see, look at that life bar, that's insane. That is just absolutely insane, that's crazy. So yeah, I know that life bar does seem massive and big, there's probably a sex joke in there, but I'm not going to say it. But yeah, it's really because, like, yeah, that is a massive health bar, but because you've got upgrades like attack, as you saw in the other few parts, I got the attack upgrades and stuff like that, so you actually do a pretty decent amount of damage to him when you're just punching. So yeah, so he's got different attacks. One of his attacks, as you just saw there, was him throwing the 3 mines, and when he does that, what you're going to want to do is hit them back into him, because if he goes into those little bomb mine things, they do actually hurt him and do a decent amount of damage. Although don't go out your way to do it, it is better to not risk taking damage from those and trying to hit them back than actually messing it up and being hit. So his second kind of attack is his fine sort of attack, which is kind of weird. Basically he can summon these weird purple vines, which he can do if you're standing in front of him to pull him towards him, or if you're just standing around and he can't be bothered to walk over to you, he will summon vines from the ground and they will do a really good amount of damage. That's something you don't want to get wrapped up in, really. So yeah, his third kind of attack, as you just saw there, is he will stamp on the ground, and that will do not that like a tiny bit of damage to you. It's pretty much just to kind of mess you up, so you just kind of fall down. Yeah, he can do that any time. It's usually when you're quite far away, and you will get hurt by it if you're not jumping or in the air. So make sure when you see him stamp to go in the air. So yeah, that's pretty much his attacks at this phase. So he has 3 phases, and this is the first one. His first one is the whole middle bar. In terms of tactics, what you want to do is just, you have to be both careful and aggressive. This is the problem. This is why you might have some troubles with this fight, because you have to get in there and hit him, because otherwise, you're not going to hit him. You have to get in there, make sure you're doing combos and stuff like that, but the thing is that he can do so much damage to you so quickly that if you mess up, then you mess up. So during this first phase, you want to pretty much go up to him, hit him a few times like that, and then swing out the way. Another way to do damage is to swing into him, like that. As you can see, if you just swing into him, that still does damage, but I'm sure a lot of people would probably wait for the mines. If you're not too confident, then just kind of dodge his attacks and wait for the mines to show up. But as you can see here, what I'm doing, I'm not being too... I'm actually standing right next to him, because there's certain attacks he won't do if you're right next to him, and then just making sure as soon as he starts attacking to jump to his other, swing through his other side. Because once he attacks in one direction, he's attacking in that direction, and that gives you some chance to hit him in the back. So yeah, also, I'm not too sure if I would recommend using Nightcrawler every time, because if you get hit once by this guy, it takes so much damage off, and you do really need that health. You do really need health to stay alive, so you can do hits onto him like this. So yeah, use Black Cat if you think that's more appropriate, although I still did use Nightcrawler during this fight. But he only does like 3 bars of damage, and because of how much bars that guy has, it's not that much. So yeah, now we have technically entered his second phase. It's very similar to the first phase. This is definitely the hardest part of the fight. This is where you're gonna, it's pretty much this half of the top bar. Because what's happened now is that he will counter-attack a lot more often, he will attack you a lot more often, and you can't swing into him, like you can't just jump and swing into him. He's just a lot more he's like a lot harder to fight. He just becomes more badass really, and just start being smarter about about his attacks. So you're gonna have to like be careful there. This is the it's this part of the fight that's gonna make or break you really during it. If you can get past this bit without using too much health, or you know, not that much health, then you know you're fine. See, he blocks a lot more often. So yeah, you may want to rely on the mine bits here because yeah, it's just gonna come in a lot more handy. So yeah, hitting his mine back. But as you can see, as soon as I try and hit him, he just blocks me, and he just tries. If you swing through him, like you saw there, he will try and punch you, and he can actually hit you if you're not careful. So yeah, pretty much the only times you can do damage to him in this stage is when he's attacking or just finished an attack. But as you can see there, with most of his attacks, it's actually really hard to get any decent hits in on him. You're gonna have to do this, like, you're gonna have to be careful. This isn't something you're gonna be able to just do. And yeah, I probably don't need to tell you that. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, that was his second phase, sort of. I don't think there are specific phases, but once you get him down to certain health, this starts happening. Once you hit him, he will start flinching. It's really weird. So I don't know at what point that actually does happen, if it's a time thing or if it's a health thing, but yeah, one thing I was trying to do, and my tactic, my Honest Tom 23's patented technique to defeating the Spider-Man Web of Shadows DS final boss is, what you do, you stand on this platform there where you can see I was standing. He will walk over, some of the time he will walk over there. Not all the time, some of the time he will also just like try and attack you, so you want to keep moving. You want to be aware that he will like do this, throw little bombs at you, or he may stamp his feet, or he may do something else, or just come up to you and uppercut you and kill you. So yeah, you want to be careful of that, but if you stand on that platform, he can't just climb up, he will jump up, and then because he's in this phase, or this stage of the battle, once you hit him in the air, he will then flinch, and you can get quite a lot of punches onto him without too much effort. Also at this phase of the fight, or his third phase I guess, this is when he's at his weakest. So yeah, it means he won't kind of block attacks anymore. He just kind of stops blocking attacks. It's really weird. It's like like the boss becomes a lot easier once you get past that, I don't know what you would call it, that biting point? I don't think that's a phrase, but yeah, once you get past that hard point where he just blocks all your attacks, this fight becomes very easy, because you can just go up to him or do my patented technique like that, and you will be okay. So you look at that, look how much damage I did. You also want to be aware, once he enters this easy phase, you can uppercut him into the air. I'm pretty sure I do show it at some point, but I wasn't too aware, because I hadn't got to this point in the boss while recording, or I hadn't got to this point before, so I wasn't too sure what was going on. Because yeah, as you can see, I can now hit him with the swing. I can now swing into him and do damage again. I don't know, it's really weird, because nothing really, he just suddenly does it. He just suddenly becomes a lot easier to fight. And as long as you're always like, as long as you can avoid his attacks and just not, basically the key is not to stay in one place too long, or to kind of stay in one place and then just don't be stupid. That's my advice. That's more good, honest advice from Honest Tom 23. Don't be stupid. Yeah, but trust me, I've tried many different things to fighting this guy, and the way I do it here is probably the best way to do it. So yeah, dead. So that's that done. If you're having a lot of trouble with that fight, just try and stick with what I did, and remember that he will eventually get weakened, and that then you can do all the damage. So yeah, I guess this game wasn't, or thought it wasn't quite copying Metroid enough, and here we have a little escape sequence. You're actually going through an area that doesn't exist, and it just keeps going and going. I thought it was infinite at first, but apparently not. So yeah, if you're wondering, I did actually fail this the first time. This is my second attempt. And yeah, don't worry, if you do fail it, all that happens is that you start at the beginning and the timer resets. So, and yeah, the reason I failed is because I was normal Spider-Man. My advice, and what made this so much easier, I didn't get anywhere close as normal Spider-Man, but you kind of have to be Black Spider-Man. You have to be Venom Spider-Man. if you are finding Spider-Man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if because this was my second try I had it a lot easier, or if because, I don't know, because Black Spider-Man might just be faster. I had trouble doing this bit, by the way. If you want to run along the wall, like wall ride, whatever it's called, but because I'm on the keyboard it kind of was kind of hard to do, so yeah, not really much to explain. Be Black Spider-Man and swing along and you will get out of here okay. And don't worry about failing, because I failed, so yeah, cut that out definitely. Yeah, this is probably the only time where you want to be Black, well, you pretty much have to be Black Spider-Man, you don't really have a choice. And things are getting intense here, 15 seconds to go, and here's that door that I said that you could open eventually. Oh no, that's not the door, this is the door.
So Venom was just as surprised as everybody else that there was a super symbiote capable of this kind of destruction. It was bad, yeah. Wow, it could have been so much worse. I need a vacation. I'd settle for a nice long nap.
Thank you, Spider-Man! Thank you! Spider-Man, you saved us!
There's still a lot of cleanup to do, but I think New York's gonna be alright. Actually, I need more than a nap. I need a shower. 2 trips down the sewer in one night can make a guy smell less than amazing.
So yeah, that was it. That's the game. That's the whole entire game. That was Spider-Man Web of Shadows for the DS. So yeah, my thoughts and opinion of this game, because that's what I like to do during credits, is that I thought it was a really fun game. I thought the combat was fun, I thought the enemies were varied enough, and I thought the exploration element of it was really enjoyable. I thought that was done really well. Obviously the only problem with this game, or the major problem with this game, is that it's too short. It's so short, this game. But as I've already mentioned in previous LPs, I don't really mind handheld games being shorter. It kind of makes sense, you know, it's handheld, so I don't really have a problem with like something on a DS being quite short, you know, as long as I didn't pay full price for it. So yeah, and the fact that I was playing it on an emulator, I mean, it was really enjoyable. I would have liked to play it on a DS, so the controls would have been better, but you know, overall it was really fun. You know, graphics were nice, and yeah, I would definitely say check it out. Although if you're watching this LP, you're probably watching it as a guide, so you already did check it out, and if you did, then you get my thumbs up. Although a mic can't really pick up a thumbs up, so kind of screwed here. So yeah, if you get it cheap, then it's a really fun game. It's really enjoyable. Seems like all of my side LPs are short games. I mean, obviously it's a side LP, so that makes sense, but I don't know. Every single one seems to be like less than 5 hours long. So yeah, I am eventually going to skip these credits, and yeah, if you're, there we go, 75% complete, 2 hours and 50 or 45 minutes. So I've been on this 23. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in another LP.